and welcome to the pod. I'm your host, Grace, and with us we have Bex and Laura, who are going to teach us all about how to become charity founders. Thank you so much for coming.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for having us.
So please tell me about your charity. Let's start off there.
Well, we are called the Worst Girl Gang Ever Foundation.
Excellent name, by the way.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it does make us stand out, and lots of people say it's memorable, which is great because we look after women and families when they have suffered miscarriage, stillbirth, neonatal loss, and infertility. So that's us, and it's funny because we say the name of the charity, and people go, "Oh, amazing name!" And then we tell them what we do, and they're like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
Well, it's an amazing thing you're doing, so it deserves an amazing name.
Thank you."
Very well thought out, guys. So, as we were saying before, we obviously usually go to the beginning and say, what did you want to be when you were growing up? So let's start there. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Well, we were talking about this before, and we both actually wanted to be mums. I never really had any big career aspirations. Didn't really mind what I ended up doing, just as long as I got to have a family.
Yeah. I think it's funny because I just remembered on my first wedding day, on my first rodeo. Newsflash, I'm not married now. My dad did this speech I basically did like loads of different jobs like waitressing and admin and stuff. And he said, and he outlined this at my wedding. And then he said, but actually what Bex has always wanted to do is, and then put up this photo on a projector of me pushing a little baby buggy round when I was 2 on my 2nd birthday. And it's true, like that's all I really saw myself doing is being a mum.
And everyone knew then, like if he's putting up that picture and stuff, like...
Everyone knew.
I had a list of baby names in my year 9 homework diary. Wow. How old are you in year 9? 14?
Yeah, 14.
Young.
Yeah, just a list of names. Yeah.
So it's always been there.
It's always been there. And for me, I was really, really lucky in the fact that it did happen for me. I became a mum and I had two babies with no issues, no trouble. 3 actually, before I had my loss. And that, I suppose, brings us on to how we became a charity. And that for me was, I went to my 12-week scan of my 4th baby, and I was having had 3 successful pregnancies and 3 beautiful children. It didn't occur to me that something might go wrong. And I thought you were either someone who suffered miscarriage or you weren't. And because I had these 3 children at home, I put myself in that latter category. So I went to my 12-week scan, and there was just silence when the sonographer started scanning. And because I'd been there 3 times before, I knew something wasn't right. It was during COVID, so there's no one there with me. And the sonographer said, "I'm really sorry, there's no heartbeat." And at that moment, I just couldn't believe like that anguish. I couldn't believe it. And following on from that, I started to think that my grief was disproportionate to my loss, because I really, really struggled. And because no one talks about it and there's this taboo, I thought the problem was mine. I thought that I wasn't managing, I wasn't coping. And it made me feel really, really isolated. But exacerbated by COVID, because I couldn't see my mum, I couldn't see any of my friends.
Yeah.
And so I decided to write about it, because I was like, well, it can't just be me. There must be other women that feel this. So I wrote about it and I shared it on this Facebook group that was crazy at the time because it was lockdown. And I could not believe the response I got from this post. And it was people saying, I went through this like last week, I went through this last month or last year. But also it was women saying, I went through this 20 years ago. I still think about the empty space at my Christmas breakfast table. And that's what made me realise that it's such a massive experience to go through, such a big life-changing thing to go through. And there's no real support out there. So around that time, I met Laura. And
So you guys didn't know each other before?
No.
Wow.
No, my sister-in-law said to me, "Oh, this girl's just set up this group, go check it out." And I did, and I slid into her DMs.
Nice.
And we got chatting. The first time we spoke, it was like an hour-long conversation, lots of swearing, lots of passionate ranting, talking about how shoddy the support is when you go through something like this, and how silent it is, how much of a taboo. But at the time, I had a 1-year-old son and had been in the baby loss world for about 8 years. I lost 7 pregnancies before him, and that included like an ectopic pregnancy, various different types of miscarriage, and a molar pregnancy. And I eventually got my son. What was weird is that I'd spent all that time advocating for myself, and I'm a nurse also. So I always thought, if someone doesn't have that medical background or that courage or the balls to just keep asking the questions, keep banging on the doors, what happens to them? Do they get their happy ending or not? And I thought, I have lived this and I can help other people do it. But because I had my happy ending, I didn't feel like I was the right person to offer this support, because I remember that when I was back on the other side, when I was in the trenches, I didn't want to hear from people like me, because I'd be like, well, it's all right for you. You got there in the end, but I'm still living it. I struggled with like feelings of jealousy and envy and bitterness towards anyone who had a baby or was pregnant. Couldn't stand the sight of people, even those close to me. So I thought, how do I offer that support to people? And I met Bex, and already having had her 3 children, she was shouting it from the rooftops, and I was like, okay, we can do something. There is a place for us to support people, and it's needed. Like there's a big gap. And to begin with, we didn't know how we were going to support people. But back in lockdown, podcasting was all the rage, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Bex bought a book called Podcasting for Dummies.
Nice.
And we got cracking. You had a pair of gaming headphones. And we were up late at night working out how to edit and things like that. And that's how we started. We started with the podcast, because we thought, how can we make this less of a taboo? We need to talk about it. We need to make this conversational. And what better way to do that than with a podcast?
That is amazing. Learning all that whilst you're going through so much, well, have been through so much, and you're locked down is insane.
I was also homeschooling at
Oh
that
my
point.
word.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
is-
when you look back at something, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how I did
definitely.
that.
I think it offered a nice escape from lockdown, actually,
Yeah.
having some sort of a focus.
It really did.
I mean, our husbands didn't enjoy it.
No, that was husband number 2. He's gone now too. When I say gone, I mean
He's not dead.
they're still alive. But we we would hide in the toilet and leave each other voice notes, because this it became an obsession, I suppose, didn't it? We just wanted, we felt so like we had been treated so, or not treated, but just overlooked.
Yeah.
Not treated.
Not treated at all. And we wanted to we couldn't do anything for ourselves, because that was done. But what we wanted is to take our experience and make it easier for the next person to come along. So not quite so dark, but holding that, like, what I found out, well, what we both found about the support that was accessible or available, was that it was really clinical, and it was really research-based and information-led. And I don't know about, the majority. Well, I do, because we've spoken to the majority.
now.
But we do now. But all I wanted was a hug, and for someone to tell me it was going to be okay. And the only relief I felt from my sadness was speaking to people who had been there before, who had had miscarriages and come out the other side. And that's the basis of what the Girl Gang looks like today. The basis of it is peer-to-peer support. So that's what we did, is we started off with a podcast, and that developed into kind of, how did that develop? You always
Well,
do,
so
but-
I do. We started with the podcast, and then people started listening, and we fully expected it to just be our mums,
Yeah.
Our best
couple of
friends.
mates, And before we knew it, it started getting more and more popular. And I remember when we got our first 100 downloads, we were like, 100 people have been listening
be
to
famous.
us.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it?
We planned to do 10 episodes, and we were like, we'll do one on stillbirth, one on miscarriage, one on this, one on that, and then we're done. But we quickly learned that there are so many different complexities and layers to each story that no 2 stories are the same.
Yeah.
And people were coming forward wanting to share their story. So we started with that podcast, and people started following us and engaging with us on Instagram, and they were asking us for more support. They were asking us questions that we didn't really know the answers to, but we were starting to connect with experts in the field. And so we would send people in different directions. Oh, why don't you go and ask this lady? Or they would say, how do you cope with this? Or how did you manage your return to work? How do we deal with these situations?
My best friend's pregnant,
and I hate her.
and I don't know who I'm becoming. That was the big thing. I think the ugly feelings,
Yeah,
like those secondary emotions that come after the grief, the hatred and the bitterness and the anger and the jealousy and the resentment. People started to feel that stuff, and that would isolate them further because they ended up thinking, or they often end up thinking, like, who am I? How can I feel so angry with my sister, with my best friend, with my, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, what is it? It's done to me. And we really wanted to recognize and like project out there that just because you have these feelings doesn't make you a bad person. In fact, the very fact that you feel bad about feeling them makes you a nice person. That if you weren't a nice person, you wouldn't care.
Yeah.
So it's just that we just wanted to for people to feel less alone. And then, as Laura said, we hooked up with the experts.
Yeah, and we started running courses. And at the time, I was working as a nurse, you were working as a photographer, and it was taking up a lot of our time, so we needed to earn an income from it.
Yeah.
So we started charging for these courses. Always felt a little bit icky, and we never really...
It was hot. Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah, we didn't want to be charging people for support, which should be free.
It's hard though, isn't it? Because like you said, to be able to keep giving the support, you need an income. You need to be able to do it.
Exactly.
So it's really tough. And you do want to help. That's the priority. It doesn't take away from that.
So we set up these courses, and the first one was to help people in the early stages of grief after loss. And we had a gratitude expert and a PT, a nutritionist, grief trauma coach, all sorts.
Sex therapist.
Yeah.
Is this everything that you kind of felt that
we would have wanted?
You would have wanted, yeah.
Exactly
So
that,
everything's really drawn from that personal experience with this,
Yeah. And then so people went on these courses and loved them, and then they would start trying again. Like trying to have another baby. And then we needed to develop another course for trying to conceive after loss. And then those people ended up getting pregnant and were struggling in pregnancy after loss. So then we developed that course as well. And we never set out to run a charity, right? This all happened so organically. They were asking for things and we were like, right, can we provide that? Can we do this? And then what happened next after the courses?
Well, the thing about the courses as well is that we would bring everyone together for a weekly. This is all online, so this is still sort of back end of COVID. And every week we'd have a weekly meetup online via Zoom. So all the people that were like 25 people that would come on a course would come and meet up and chat, and they'd all go like, after the course we had like a WhatsApp group, and they'd be like, I feel so much better for coming and chatting. So we were like, this is what we're about. This peer-to-peer. Hooking people up that are living a similar difficulty, and getting them chatting and feeling like a bit more able to deal with life on a day-to-day basis. And then then we did the courses, and then we got approached by HarperCollins to write a book.
Wow.
So we did that.
That must have been a really strange moment, like when you get approached for that. You must be like...
It was a bit weird, wasn't it?
It was weird. It was. I'm just trying to think back. Like we did so much in such a little.
We'd only been running for less than 2 years when they approached us, but our Instagram was just gaining so much traction.
Yeah.
People really related to the down to earth, real, raw, honest. Like we were the first people to say it's okay if you hate your pregnant sister-in-law. Giving people that permission.
Or just like we call it the lilac feathery approach. Like lots of people in the grief space, or certainly when we started, were very kind of lilac and feathery. So everything was sort of muted and there was a lot of feathers and butterflies and stuff like that. And we're like, it doesn't have to look like this. Like, we wanted something that would actually, instead of going, everything's going to be okay, be like,
it's beep.
Yeah.
It's crap. It's rubbish. This is
it's
so
not okay.
rubbish.
Yeah.
And it's okay not to be okay. But why don't we all sit down and not be okay together without trying to pull each other out of this trench and stuff? And so that's how we really approached that grief and that difficulty. And we discovered in doing so that there was a real appetite for it, because we're still women. Like, we still, just because we've gone through this horrendous thing, we still find things funny, and we can still have a laugh. And just because we're laughing doesn't mean that we're okay. It just means that we're, oh my gosh, thank goodness, finding something to smile about. And I think that's what's been...
I was just going to say, on our support calls, we have just as much laughter as we do tears. In fact, I would say more. more laughter than tears. And we're not laughing about people's experiences or what they've been through, but it's just a safe space to, in real life, if you're laughing when you're out with your friends, they're like, oh, okay, they're all right. We don't need to talk about this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Whereas when you're in this space, people know that you're still struggling. They're living it. They know that it's still hard. So yeah, it's really lovely seeing that community and seeing them all sort of connect with each other and become real life mates.
Yeah, and that's like the beauty of it, is those real life friendships that come out of the community that we've built. And I think that's your last question. But anyway, skip to the end.
So we did the courses and then we were like, we need to stop charging people this much money. We need to make it accessible for everyone. So we set up this online membership platform where we got all of the content from the courses and put it in one place and made it cheaper. And that was okay for a while. And then we were like, we don't want to be charging anything. This stuff should be free. So we applied for charitable status.
Yeah, and it was hard. It was a real jumping off point for us, because we knew that we wanted it to be free, but we also couldn't afford for it to be free.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing, isn't
husband
it?
number two's done one by then. So now, single parent, 4 kids, I've got rent to pay.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
I've got rent to pay.
That's the thing, is real life keeps happening.
Yeah.
You know what I
Life keeps
mean?
happening.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
do you know what the really interesting thing is that through the difficulties of my life, my narrative, like non-fertility related, using the tools that I've learned through the Girl Gang have helped me unbelievable amounts. Like we were talking about it on the walk. We walked from London Bridge to here to stretch our legs in the lovely sunshine. And we were talking about it, all the stuff that we've used, that we've learned on this
For
journey.
ourselves, but
for
also
ourselves.
instilled in our kids as well.
Yeah, and in other areas of our life. It's been incredible. It's been really good. So then we started charitable status application, because by then we had quite a big following on Instagram. There was a lot of hoops to jump through and stuff.
Can I just ask, with the following, that's literally from you guys just posting stuff from the offset, and that's just really organically come?
Oh, it's totally like
Wow.
we have.
Because it's a big
no
following.
idea.
I follow you guys, and I'm
We
like,
did a
wow.
paid ad
No
once,
idea
didn't
what we're
we?
doing. Yeah, and it was terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
Like,
we
we
were
don't
like,
know
oh
what
no,
we're
we'll just
doing.
go back to what we did before.
Yeah, because the stuff that resonates most, the stuff that we write, literally sit down and write a caption as it comes to our heads.
Yeah.
Not that we work over for ages. And we, that stuff, the raw stuff, is the stuff that people really want to read. And that's what we've tried to stick to. In all of across all of everything that we do, we don't, we speak in a way that is conversational rather than a way that is polished and like we're trying to create this. We don't want to try and create anything. We just want to speak as women to women.
And I think
People can
that's-
relate to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
why the book's been so popular as well, because it is just
People say it's just like chatting to mates.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. That's what we want to say.
So the book was pre-charity?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. How was that? Like writing that, and how was that experience?
Well, to begin with, we already had a lot of content.
Right.
So we've got all these podcasts, we've got all of these Instagram posts. And so we made a plan and went through and pulled stuff from everything else that we've written in the past and that has resonated, and then filled in the gaps.
Yeah, and we had help with that, to be fair. We had Abby. I went to school with a girl called Abby, and she reached out and said, look, this is what I do for a living. Do you want me to help you put your book together?
Oh, people helping people.
And it was so serendipitous, because almost like the same month we'd had this Instagram message from someone that worked at HarperCollins saying, we'd love you to do this. And then we got an agent through my friend Abby, and that all sort of really happened really organically. We'd already written the synopsis for a book, because we always knew we wanted to write a book. And all these things happened really, really quickly, one after the other. And then it ended up with this. It was August the 6th. I remember that. And it ended up in this like bid off between Bloomsbury and HarperCollins. And it was the most exciting day.
I can imagine.
I mean, bar children.
Yeah. But that is like,
Weddings.
No. They're to a penny.
but you just don't expect it, do you? You start this thing from such a personal experience, and then it's just all evolving from there.
We didn't predict
It's an
any
amazing
of it.
journey.
No, we really didn't predict any of it. And actually, I say that was the most exciting day of my life, but I
the
remember...
book launch was pretty cool.
The book launch was very cool, but the day that I found out, or we got the email to say that we'd achieved charitable status...
It was my birthday.
Yeah, and my daughter, my youngest daughter. So
And
my
she
youngest
didn't name her
daughter-
youngest daughter Laura.
Oh
yeah.
my
So
gosh.
I've had one child post loss, and she was born on Laura's birthday, and then that was the day, 19th of June.
Wow,
2
it's a
years
lucky
later.
day,
Isn't it? Isn't it
it?
amazing?
That is.
But I remember the day that I found out that we got charitable status, and I just cried. I remember
We had been
crying.
rejected once before.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, we weren't even rejected. He was like,
Try
guy back
again.
and went, do you know what? I'm just going to discount this. You go away, have a think about
Do
things.
it properly.
Do it properly.
Maybe get some help with it.
You tried your best. So that's what you're saying. You had to jump through loads of hoops. Why was that? What does this mean?
I think because we had a large following, we also had a large responsibility, and we're dealing with people in a really vulnerable place. So we needed to prove that we could look after people, and that's completely right. I believe that's completely right. And we had some help with the application process, but there was a lot of to and fro's and clarifications and stuff. So it wasn't difficult. It was just long.
I was going to say, did it last a lot? Like a long
I think
time?
it was about 8 months from start.
That is a long time.
October we put the application in, and June we got.
I mean, I would definitely advise anyone who's thinking about doing it, just get help from the off.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that saved you a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who helps you? People that have previously done it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who done Katie Baker. Shout out to Katie Baker.
Shout out.
She set up her own charity, and I got to know her. It's all contacts. It's
Yeah.
all like word of mouth, people recommendations. And I went on a trip and met a woman on a trip who was friends with this girl called Katie Baker, and I said to her, "This is, we want to be a charity." And she said, "Talk to my friend Katie," and then that all happened. So that was great. But I would say, if you are looking to become a charity, definitely get your board of trustees, one of the first things you need to do, and select them carefully, because it's been so beneficial for us to have trustees in every different area of governance. So
Right.
You don't just want your mates.
don't
No.
just get your mates. Don't get your mates. Don't even get people that you necessarily know.
What do you want on the board of trustees then?
You want
People with experience, because if
Okay.
you're new to this and you don't know what you're doing, like us,
Yeah.
you need people who have some experience. We've got a great board, really
got a
diverse
great
actually.
board.
We've got people with experience in government, in the charity sector, in finance, legal.
HR.
Yeah.
So you really want them from like all areas of business, and then they contribute
Yeah.
into they help you with that.
That's
stuff.
it. Because we are not those people.
Yeah.
We are, back to, I said before, a nurse and a wedding photographer. Like, we haven't got a clue how you run a charity.
We've always said we're just a couple of passionate idiots.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
I like that description.
And that's what we like about us as
I
well.
think that's
Like,
what
we don't-
people like about us as
That's
well.
what
Yeah.
people like, these hapless idiots. What are they doing?
What are they up to now?
Well, you're doing amazing things. That's probably why they love you even more, because you're just trying so hard to help people. Did people want to be on the board of trustees? Was that easy enough?
Yeah, that was
We do get people approaching us, don't we?
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. It's great. And it's, I'm not going to pretend it's not hard work, because when you are doing what we do around life, it's really hard work. And also we deal with such an emotional topic. It can get really heavy.
Yeah.
And we have to be really careful, but we've got each other as well. So I think that's always been a huge benefit to definitely me. I'm not sure if I've been a help or a hindrance on the whole.
We've never both been losing it at the same time.
No, we
generally.
lose it in turns. So
That's only fair, isn't it?
yeah, I think, there'll be and also there's that understanding that we both really understand that we're really busy people.
Yeah.
We've obviously both got families and
And we've got
all that
used to
stuff.
putting in boundaries as well with each other and our phones and work. We've got much better at that to begin with. We were at it all the
She means
time.
text.
Yeah, messaging, working. Nothing romantic going on here.
We were at it every 5 minutes. Nora and I got together. We were at it.
All consuming, isn't it? Because you see it building and you don't want it to stop. So you're like, we have to keep
And it's a
throwing
passion
everything
project,
at it.
right? And if you
Yeah.
get someone in your DMs messaging you needing support, you're like, we need to respond to this. We need to
Yeah.
respond
I
to
think
this now.
That's the big one for me. That's always been the big one, is that you get tired and you get down and you have days when you just think, oh God, and then you'll get an email, and it's one of two emails. It's either we've literally had people saying, oh, I listened to you at 2:00 in the morning when no one else is awake, and you saved my life. or you get people saying, I've just lost my baby, I don't know what to do, everything seems hopeless. And in equal measures, those two things keep us going.
The helps and the thank yous.
Just making a difference. I would love to leave this world knowing that I've made a difference in one person's life. I think that's for me, I don't think that there's a bigger fulfillment than just being able to say, I came here and I actually did some good.
100%. Because the thing is with your topic as well, and this is obviously so sad, but it's not going away.
No,
it's not changing.
People are always going to need help, and what you're doing is putting it out there so that this can help so many people, especially with your podcast and stuff. If they can't get to you directly, they can still get help. Which is rare.
It's about my favourite phrase. One of them is opening up the dialogue, making this open up the dialogue. How many times have I said that?
So many times.
But it's about making this better for future generations. You know, the loneliness and the isolation that we felt when we were going through it. I really, really hope. Well, I know it's improved already. I know from my first loss in 2015, my last in 2022. Even in that time, it has improved so much. When I had my first loss, on Instagram, people were posting photos of avocado on toast, right? And now people are openly sharing their loss stories, celebrities as well.
Yeah.
And it's so refreshing because when you go through it and you look around and you can't see anyone else struggling with this, you think that you've done something wrong. You think that you're a failure and your self-confidence goes, your trust in the world disappears, and it's scary and lonely. And now I know that we're reaching more people and that this experience is less beep for others now.
100%. It's so true.
But also, it's the educational bit around it as well. There is such a misconception that unless you bring a baby into the world, unless you bring a baby home, he or she didn't exist. And actually, babies exist not just from the moment of a positive pregnancy test, but in our narrative as girls. We opened up by saying we both wanted to be mums, and I told you about the story of me pushing the pram around my garden at the age of 2. But the narrative of motherhood starts way before you're physically and emotionally ready to be a mum. So when your story ends with "I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat," you don't just lose that baby; you lose the years and years and years that you had dreaming and hoping and thinking about, writing your kids' names down, future kids' names down in year 9 homework diary. You had all that. It's not just that physical loss. It's that no one dreams their dream of motherhood is going to end with those words.
No.
So it rips away from you so much more than just the baby. Your confidence and your hopes and your dreams and everything that you've kind of been hoping for years and years and years. It's so misunderstood, the experience of miscarriage and baby loss. So misunderstood.
It's such a good point as well, because obviously even then you're expected to go back to work and everyone's like, well, life carries on. And it doesn't that's not how it is.
No. It's really not. It's really not. So our hope with the charity is just that, it's a support for, first and foremost, it's support for people that need it, when they need it, where they need it. We have people listening in the US and Australia and New Zealand, all over the world. People tune in and listen. I love that so much. But also it is that around teaching people how to navigate friendships when people have lost babies, or work, or colleagues and stuff. And we always say, like from an emotional point of view.
You always say, she always says this, always. Go on.
From an emotional point of view, you can't understand baby loss unless you've been through it. You can't. But from an educational and intellectual point of view, you absolutely can. You can learn about it, and you can learn to support people that go through it. And if we can do that, then we must, because this is not 1 or 2 people that suffer with this. This is 1 in 4 pregnancies end in loss. This is a quarter of pregnancies end in loss. It is happening every single day. It will have happened to someone that you know. And even if that's not, we're not just talking about females, men and non-pregnant partners are affected maybe in a different way, but they're still affected by this. And that's an even more taboo topic.
It's also, like you say, with the educational thing, which I told you, one of my best friends went through something, and that's how I found you guys. And I was literally so shocked. I was like, I've never dealt with this before, and I feel like I'm doing her a disservice because I'm like, I have no idea what the right thing to say is. But when she found you guys and she was talking about it in this way, and also like saying we have a laugh and stuff, I was learning as well. And like, I think I'm like, if this ever happened to someone else I knew again, I would hope I would know a bit better how to handle it. Because you're right, you don't have to have just been through it to need to learn about it.
No.
Or at least not to handle it. How not to handle it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And as you say, like, it's no one's fault because educationally we don't know about how to handle these things. I think the support around grief as a whole is really difficult, but baby loss is a whole new category.
We've been that who said the
Yeah.
wrong thing. Like we're not
Yeah.
preaching from above. Like before we went through it, we didn't understand what it felt like, and we've said those stupid things to people.
That's
At
it.
least you know you can get pregnant. At least you know you can get
Oh,
pregnant.
At least you've
yeah.
already got kids.
At least you're
Yeah.
only young.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. We've said it. We've both said it. And that's just shows that now, obviously, we spend our lives telling people this is really painful to say. Like, it's so easy to say as well because we don't know any different.
Yeah.
But often when people don't know what to say and they don't say anything, the person that's, because we're like, oh, I don't want to upset them. They're at work. I don't want to say anything because they might cry, and then I don't want to remind them. And the fact is, the person who has been through that loss is always thinking about what they've lost. You know, you don't, and all you're doing by saying, just wanted you to know that I'm here. If you want to chat, do you want to get a coffee? Or I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. You're just telling them that you were a safe person to talk to. Whereas if you don't say anything, the person can often think, my baby only existed to me.
Yeah.
And to have someone else just touch on that and remind you that they're there for you, it's worth a million. At least it was early.
But saying something is always better than saying nothing, FYI, to anyone listening, because the silence is
Deafening.
Yeah. And it's lonely.
So lonely.
Yeah.
We know that these, at least, comments come from a good place. Someone's trying to make you feel better. Yes, they may say the wrong thing, but they want to help you. So even if that is what you end up saying and you cringe afterwards, do that rather than say nothing at all.
But also, you can always revisit that and say, ooh. So I said that.
So
I'm really sorry. I didn't think, you know.
Yeah. Acknowledging that you're like, I felt that wasn't the right thing to say. Like, I'm really sorry. When you got charitable status, obviously this was a huge day. What was the big changes for you guys then? What did that mean?
We could start raising money.
So you can't raise money at all unless you're a charity. And that means that if you're raising money, you can use that instead of charging people for the courses.
You are 100% correct.
Right. Okay.
Gold star.
But that's great because obviously you didn't feel great about charging for the courses.
No.
But this also means something completely new, right? Fundraising.
Yeah, it wasn't until the following year that we were able to offer the membership platform for free. So we started fundraising in the October, and it took that long to raise enough funds for us to say, right, okay, we're not charging anymore.
And how did you raise those funds?
Oh, lots of ways. We got a national lottery.
That's impressive.
How much was that?
20 grand.
20 grand from that.
Community grant.
But the best thing, the best thing I think so far that we did.
Absolute best thing.
Bex came up with run 10K to raise 10K. So we wanted to get lots of people to run a 10K wherever they were in the world to raise £10,000 collectively. We ended up raising 36 grand.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was insane because we created a campaign on Just Giving, and we said, look, go and create a Just Giving page, share your story, join the WhatsApp group, and we're all going to do this 10K run together. And we had women joining who, firstly, all over the world. We had 7 people from 7 different countries joining. And we had women who had never run before. We had women who used to run when they were young and then didn't anymore, and then they're going back to it. We had women who wanted to walk. All these incredible women just came into this group, and collectively we shared stories about training. You know, we did scavenger hunts every weekend. So I'd set up, do a weekend challenge and say, you've got to go and find these things, take pictures and send them back. And we made this event really, really fun. But within that, people were sharing stories in this group about how they'd taken ownership back of their body. So it empowered them and given them the confidence that they had lost without even knowing that they lost it. And they'd gone into work and shared about their story at work, which they never thought they'd do. And they'd gone in and set up groups in their workplace, so that other people knew what they'd been through, so they could come to them if they experienced loss, and just all these incredible things that these women did. And they all sort of put it down to being able to do this challenge, which was completely outside the fertility, thing, subject. And yeah, it was amazing. And we've run it we're just about, so it runs again on the 28th of March this year. It'll be our third one.
I was going to say, I thought you were doing it, because I saw on your website, I think, that you were doing it.
And
it's great to raise money, but honestly, the empowerment and the community that comes from it is worth more than that.
Yeah, totally. And people like running in the rain and getting really obsessed with it and sending pictures, selfies of them in the pouring rain going, I did 3 kilometres.
I love it when someone has never shared their story with their friends and family before and they're like, I don't know what to write, and they'll write their Just Giving and say, girls, can you just check it and check it's okay? And then they get all this love from the group, and then that gives them the courage to put it out there into the world. And then the response that they get from their friends and family is, exactly what they needed.
And the messages as well. They donate and they send messages, and they're like, I had no idea that they felt that way. Gives other people an opportunity to support and say something when they can even read the other messages that people have sent and say whatever they say.
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
Lovely. It's really, really worthwhile, obviously. And my favourite story from that is one of our runners had someone called Barry donate a tenner, and she didn't know who he was. And Barry came infamous in the group chat because it was just we have such a laugh. Yeah. Honestly, it's brilliant.
It sounds so much wonderful. Fun. I think also the link to the running back to taking your body back. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing, isn't it? It's just you wouldn't even, I don't know if you expected that link to happen, but the fact that people started feeling that way from doing that.
Exercise is so good for the mind, isn't it?
We hoped it would have that effect, because we know enough about what's really worked for people during the courses and stuff. But I just think there is something so special about achieving something. And also Laura's favourite expression is...
Well, I've told you one of them. What's the other one? Control the controllables.
Control the controllables.
Nice. Now, you can use this in any aspect of your life.
Yeah. I will.
Next time things feel out of control, just say that to yourself.
Control the controllables.
I like that.
So when you're losing a baby, when you've lost a baby, when you're going through miscarriage, when you're going through infertility struggles, you feel so out of control, because we grow up knowing that if we revise for a test, we will do better.
Yeah.
Or pay loads of money and you can get whatever you want, right?
And then it comes
to not
this,
the case.
And you everything you've learned doesn't work, because it doesn't matter how much you study it. It doesn't matter how so when we did the Run 10K to Raise 10K, it's giving people that perception of control. So they can control when they go out for a run. They can control how far they run. All of that stuff, they can control their story. They can write their narrative in their words. They can choose the words. And all of this stuff might not seem like much, but actually when you put it together and you put it for someone who really needs that, it can really, really be so beneficial. As Laura says, it's so much more than just a run.
Very therapeutic.
So when you could stop charging people for the courses, you made everything free then, and everything's just fundraising.
Yeah, the only thing that we charge for now is our corporate webinars. So something that we missed in the timeline of the charity, but we started at one point doing webinars for companies, how to support their employees through loss.
Oh, amazing.
From a company-wide perspective, like how you support your colleagues, and also HR and management with a focus on policies, return to work, sensitive, inclusive workplace suggestions.
And were you guys still doing your other jobs? Or
Yeah.
Wow.
I still am.
You still do it now?
Yeah, Bex.
I still am.
I mean, she does a few weddings a year.
I faff around at a wedding every now and then, sure.
Bex runs the show. She is full-time girl gang. I do 2 part-time jobs.
I feel like, to be honest, I feel like we both work full-time.
Yeah.
We both work over full-time. We've forgotten what relaxation is.
Yeah, because you never stop
She
thinking
says,
about
having just come back from the Philippines. God, if I could only have a break.
Well, you deserve it, because you never switch off from it, do you? There's always something else you can be doing. Especially when you have all these avenues, fundraising, podcasting, posting, the community, your socials.
All right, you're overwhelming me now.
We're actually due at our London in real life get together. So this year, one of the things that we're doing is that we put out this massive survey and said, what do you guys want? We've always tried to be led by what the community wants. And people
Sometimes
said-
we regret asking.
Yeah, mostly. But they said more in real life meetups because we met each other and started in the depths of COVID. So everything was
Yeah.
online. So it's like we've only really started exploring in real life stuff recently. So we've started doing these real life get-togethers, and we started together doing a London one. So we're going there after this, and it's the third one we've run in London. But we've now got a Leeds one, and we're just about to do
my
a
word.
Glasgow one, and we've got a Manchester one in March.
Yeah.
So we're just creating these little pop-ups using other people. Obviously, we can't be there.
We can't be everywhere.
But
No.
yeah, so that's the plan, is to get them countrywide.
That's amazing. You'll do it.
But they're not support groups, are they?
No, they're just
Not like sit down, talk
Yeah.
about, hi, my name's Laura and I lost this many babies. It's just a social meetup. Again, like on the calls, it's being surrounded by people who get it, so you can laugh, you can talk about work, and everyone knows that you're not over it. Life isn't easy. It's still tough.
Definitely.
It's a safe space.
Yeah, a safe social.
A safe
Yeah.
social.
You're not going to get
Yeah.
any pregos
my
turning
God,
up.
a safe social. We should totally
Safe
run
social.
with
I
that.
like
Take it, please.
Thank you.
When I said that you guys were coming on Charity Founders, a lot of the questions were basically, how do you decide what you put into the business or what you pay yourself? And is that something you guys think about, or is that why you do the other jobs?
So we're both employed by the charity.
Yeah, okay.
We were a limited company up until so the Girl Gang was a limited company, and that's how we operated the courses and stuff. So we paid ourselves I don't know what minimum wage is, but
Not
it
very
wasn't
much.
bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes nothing at all.
Sometimes
Some
nothing
months.
at all. Oh, I've missed another mortgage payment.
I can imagine it's hard because you want to just keep reinvesting in it. And that's what, because it's a new thing that I was like putting it out. I was like, does anyone have a question for Charity Founders? And obviously you're doing an amazing thing. And if you could, you'd reinvest everything. But you guys are investing so much of your time.
Yeah.
Well, we invest in ourselves, obviously, but we have a board of trustees who essentially they're our bosses, I suppose.
Well, we answer to them.
We are.
That's interesting. I didn't know that's how it worked.
Yeah, so all our what we get paid is decided by them.
I did not know that.
Well, they have to agree it. They have to be okay with it.
Yeah, so we both said we want £600,000 a month, and they were
No,
like,
what they did
"Post
is
up."
they went on and looked up what other small charity CEOs get paid and put it to us that we
And then we get pro rata, obviously, because we
I don't.
part time.
school run.
Oh, got you. Yeah, that is. I had no idea that's how it worked, but I guess that makes sense. Otherwise, some people, bad people, might take the piss
Yeah,
and
yeah.
set it up for all the wrong reasons or whatever. If no one's looking over them,
But obviously,
you hope that never happens. But
you have policies in place that says what you have to ask your trustees to okay spending wise. So if we spend, I think, over £1,000, I don't know what it is, but I should know what
should
it is. We have to go and ask them
yeah,
and say, this is what we want, this is why we want it, can we do it?
can you guys be trustees on another charity?
Yeah. We can't be trustees for our charity. You can't be. You can, but it's really complicated.
Yes,
So
and that's why we got
stopped.
rejected the first time.
Because you're
Yeah,
like,
we
it's
were
us
like,
just
it's
trustees,
just
and
us.
that's it.
Yeah,
Hello, I'm the trustee.
because we're control
Hi, I'm
freaks. We wanted to have control over it.
Yeah, I
and
totally
that's
get
why
that.
when it came to getting the trustee board, we had to be people that we trusted and that we knew weren't going to just say, off you go.
Yeah.
Because the Girl Gang is all of the people in it, but we are the face of it. And people trust us because they know us. And yeah, the last thing we would want is them to go, you guys aren't CEO material on your bike. I mean, we're not CEO material. No. And they know that, but they're teaching us.
We're willing to learn, and that's the main thing. But in theory, they could fire us.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
wild,
isn't that
it?
scary?
That is crazy.
But
they'd have to have a please don't. Yeah, I was going to say a really valid reason.
they'd have to have a
surely.
really valid reason. And actually, when you can't, we're the only two people that have the experience that we have in doing what we do.
Yeah.
It's very niche.
It's very
Yeah.
niche. Very
Find anyone
niche.
else.
I think we're all right.
I
But
feel like
it's
it's
all. Do you know what? I would say if anyone's thinking about it, just do it because it's all a learning curve. And the mistakes that we've made have probably, started. I'm so perimenopausal, and my words are just gone. But the mistakes that we've made have like initiated the growth.
Yeah.
So it's only through, I believe, it's only through making mistakes that you actually grow and reach your potential. We don't learn much from our successes, right?
Yeah, that's
we
it.
learn when we really beep up.
You must be always learning. Like you're gonna keep. I mean, what is?
Are you trying to say that we're
Always
no,
F it up.
no, no, no.
Oh my
I think that's what she said.
That's not what I meant. No, not at all. I just meant because it's growing so much. You must be like at the next thing. It must be like,
Yeah.
well,
And the
where do
wants
we
and
go
needs
from
of
here? You
people
keep going up.
change. And that's sometimes caught us off guard.
Yeah.
It was all online. Do you remember the first time we tried to do an in real life meetup? It was such a flop. It was just off the back of COVID, and we lost money on it.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
We've done loads of
And
stuff.
now that's what people want.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, okay, but last time it was a flop. But no, let's trust the process. That's what they want.
Because some
Let's
people
give
might
it
be
to
like, it didn't work that time. I'm not going to do that again. But you have to keep going.
Yeah, and you have to
keep
adapt.
going. And also, like, if you get a knockback, like knockbacks come all shapes and sizes and forms. And sometimes you just think, I remember we took like a week off social media once because we posted something really inappropriate and got a couple of like really horrible messages.
What one was that?
Brenda, also the Will Smith thing.
Oh yeah, we did two dodgy posts in the
dodgy
space of a
posts,
week.
and
This was
like-
before we were a charity.
Right.
Didn't have anyone to answer to. We were like, let's go for it.
Can I just caveat that with like 99% of people found it absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
That 1% hurt us so much. Like not Laura because she's got a heart stone, but me. And I was like, found it really difficult to pick myself up after that because I was like, I have given myself day after day.
We're just trying to help people.
Yeah, it can
And
really
also
knock
we had an
you.
email just after we started being a charity saying, because we had to, I can't remember what we charged for. What did we charge
Courses, I
for?
think it was. How dare you continue to charge for courses now
Yeah,
you've got charitable
profiteering off
status?
people's loss after. And
We haven't got any money in the charity.
Yeah, literally.
I find that sort of thing really, really like hurts me because I just want everyone to be happy.
Yeah,
I
that's
just want
it.
to do.
And you are
just-
trying to help.
Yeah, and then people turn around with no knowledge of anything that
Yeah.
happens behind the scenes. No knowledge of the
Missed
loan
mortgage payments.
that I had to take out to do it. The personal loan I'm still paying off now. It's
Yeah.
just, and Laura, like, yeah, as you said, like missing mortgage payments and like literally working till 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And not getting paid for it. It's like it's hard work,
100%.
but it's so worth it.
You're doing such
But
such
please
an
don't send
amazing
us
thing.
hate mail because we really don't.
Yeah,
want it.
please.
But sensitive.
Yeah.
As she
You
is.
don't deserve it. There's always someone. So what's the goal? Where do you want the charity to go?
Do you know our mission statement off by heart?
No, do
You
I
do.
beat?
Do you beat?
No, I
We
don't.
want to live in a world where everyone. Oh no, that's
Beat.
beat. I don't know.
Well, we wrote
We
it
want
to get
to
charitable
live-
status.
We
We've
want
not
to live
really used
in
it
a
since.
world where the experiences of miscarriage, baby loss, and infertility are understood and support is widely available and accessible.
And we started this with the hope to help just one person feel less alone. And that will always be what we want to do, except now it's everyone rather than one person. And we will always be guided by the gang. What
Yeah.
they want, if we can facilitate it, then we will.
We like approximately 250,000 babies are lost every year in the
In the
UK
UK.
alone to miscarriage. 250,000, 250,000 babies die.
I had no idea the number was that high.
Yeah, and that's in the UK alone.
Wow.
Like that, as you said during the recording, that number's not changing.
Yeah.
So if we can't change that, then what can we change? We can change the way that people feel about themselves, and we can change the fact that they feel so alone, and we can just bloody hold people's hands when they need someone to hold their hands, and not judge them, and just be there, be the voice in someone's ear at 2:00 in the morning.
And hook them up with all of the other glorious warriors that make up the worst girl gang ever.
You guys should be incredibly proud. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was amazing.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Oh, honestly, wow, I'm excited that everyone's going to hear this because that was incredible.